because many of the people are not active in the with the starting group. So what we are going to do now is we're going to be more active in terms of our engagements and whatever we have planned so far to create the group as per the viability. We're going to do that now. So we will keep on doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, cool. We have speaker of the day, Bharti. Hi, Bharti. Are you there? Sonu. Hi, Bharti. Nice to see you.
Hi, how are you? So good to see you.
On top of the world. Thank you for asking. I'm good.
I believe we met at PSS 2020 at New Delhi, but it was for a very short brief.
I see. I'm very bad at my memory. I'm so sorry. Some people say I have a fish memory. I forget everything. But yes,
All right.
PSS happened, and I was very much there in that conference.
Yeah.
But heard a lot about you through Deepak. So thanks to
Ah,
Deepak for inviting you and having you. It's our honor that you are here, and we're going to learn a lot of stuff today. A
thank
lot of
you.
people are expected to join.
Give me a minute. I'll just do the little bit of set with it.
Hi,
Hello, sir. Good evening.
good evening. Hi, Pushpinder. Hi, Kara. Hi, Hamad. और public speaking तड़का आप ही करेंगे यार. It worked out well last time. Deepak, are you there? Yeah. Okay. Deepak, would you
I do.
mind making me a co-host?
Done, sir, already.
Already, already done. Awesome, awesome, super. Very proactive approach today.
Welcome, Kara ma'am.
Super. Videos obviously. Gurmera video on karo. Shant and Pushpinder Sodhi. Sir, please switch on the video. Would love to see your faces.
Hi, Gaurav.
Hello, sir.
Oh, अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा.
How are
ये
you?
तो
You are
हमारी
getting
डिक्की मैम
you
है.
are
कैसे
getting
हो
new
जी?
rooms, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
So glad you have joined today.
Yes. सर मैंने रिमाइंडर लगा दिया था मैं भूल जाती हूँ हर बार.
साड़ा सत्संग हर वीरवार ਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਣਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੈ.
जी जरूर.
है ना?
Yes.
That's how people learn. And that's amazing. Good to see you. Super Suresh, I was watching one of your pictures of 2012. I could not recognize that's you.
2012. Okay.
And sometimes we feel like दोबारा वैसे बन जाए, isn't it? We feel like let's get back to the same mode once again.
Yes, brother, you are right. And you know, I went for a trip this time, 4-day trip. Everyone looking at me and telling, "Are you Suresh?" I told I'm Super Suresh.
Hi Nishant.
Hello, hello everyone.
Hi,
Hi
Nishant.
Sol.
Hello.
Hi Dr. Yamna Mason. So glad to see you here. सोनू खाना बना रहे हो क्या? कहाँ हो?
नहीं सर बेटे को खिला रही हूँ.
अच्छा. How is your naughty boy?
He is fine. He's good.
Super.
Welcome,
So,
Sneha ji.
it's already 8.
Nelson, yeah.
I think it's up to you.
I think we can start now, sir. It's
I
time
feel
now to
so.
start.
We can do that.
Yes. Speaker is also ready.
Yeah. Miss Bharti is always ready. So before we start, I have written something, and it says, हिंदी में है, दौर किस तरह बदल जाता है सरकार. दौर किस तरह बदल जाता है सरकार. पहले सभी को रहता था संडे का इंतजार. फिर काम करने का तरीका भी कुछ बदल गया. फिर काम करने का तरीका भी कुछ बदल गया और संडे को भी सैटरडे में तब्दील कर गया. जिंदगी ने करवट ली तो एक और नया दौर आया. जिंदगी ने करवट ली तो एक और नया दौर आया. वीकेंड अब जनाब सैटरडे की जगह फ्राइडे बन गया. वीकेंड अब जनाब सैटरडे की जगह फ्राइडे बन गया. लेकिन नया सीखने की चाहत, नया सीखने की चाहत कुछ ऐसी आई उभर कर मेरे यार, कुछ नया सीखने की चाहत कुछ ऐसे आई उभर कर मेरे यार. फ्राइडे को छोड़ पीछे हम सब अब करते हैं सिर्फ थर्सडे से प्यार. कब करते हैं हम सब प्यार? थर्सडे से. थैंक यू वेरी मच. So with this we start and
Amazing.
thank you very much. So with this we start the session of today and wish you all a very good evening. And I, Deepak Srivastava, welcome you once again on the learning session organized by the PSI, the Public Speaking Institute community, with a vision to bring eminent speakers and trainers from across the fields who have been into the situations and have the knowledge to bring you out from that particular extravaganza and give you something new to check and unleash yourself. So please note, before we start, there are few rules. First, as always requested, please maintain the decorum of the forum. Keep your question answers for the end, at the last of the session. And there is a special surprise for everyone. We may be calling anyone for the public speaking ka tadka activity today. And before we start, I would like to thank author Sherry sir, who is the founder and managing director of Public Speaking Institute community, and which is now over 2.5 lakh public speakers across the globe. And his mission is the mission of PSI as well, and that is to create 1 million public speakers across by 2030. You got it right, 2030. He is a well-known international public speaking coach and mentor and has created 15,000 plus public speakers and is also working to give India its very first own public speaking university. He is also the founder and president of MS Talks India, which is a public speaking platform, and it has given platform to 20,000 plus speakers across the world. And you would like to know that he is 8 times TEDx speaker, 3 times Joe Stock speaker, and author of international bestsellers. May I request you for a round of applause for author Sherry sir? And this is not all. He comes from a 4th generation of authors. His dad, his wife, his daughter, along with him, are also authors. And they have now filed up for the Limca Book of Records. So thank you, author Sherry sir, for giving us an opportunity. And now we will be moving on to the speaker of the day. And I would like to request Ms. Bharti Naik, who is going to unleash us the information about how we can proceed ahead in life. And before I start, I would like to say one of the testimonial which she had said. It says, it is not about who you are, it is about what you choose to be. Because what you choose, you will become that. And that is for sure. And she is into this industry for over 15 years, and she has helped more than 60,000 people in their personal and professional transformation. She is filled with innovative ideas, different methodologies, and you can relate what she says and connect it with the today's generation as well. She is an inspiration to many and is very, very well known nationally as well as internationally. She is a director, Inspire Human Potential Private Limited, and an independent director of Manpasand Beverages Limited with the brand named Mango Sip and Fruits Up. And there's something new which I learnt about her today. And this is that she has been elected as head education in the Relations Strategic NLP coach section. And she is in the now elective executive committee of Professional Speakers Association India for the year 2021 and 2022. So, Ms. Naik, welcome you, and please do join me for a big round of applause in welcoming her. Stage is all
Thank
yours,
you
ma'am.
so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. It
Pleasure
is
is all mine.
really a pleasure and an honor to be here. To so many of public speakers that I meet here, gathered here, it is really, it's the energy that gets transmitted, I believe, and that's what is happening with me right now. So I'm in that space of energy, and I really would want to give that energy to all the public speakers who are here. And a fantastic initiative. I didn't know about you, Sherry, that you have a entire legacy and lineage of authors. So that's a very, very amazing, interesting thing that I came to know. Please, guys, give me a quick check. Is my voice audible? Do you want me to raise my voice, or it is perfectly fine? Okay. Okay. Can you see me clearly? And is everything all there? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Can I just pin myself here on the screen so that you can see me? Okay. Wake up, said the old Magi, sitting at all these speakers in front of him, wondering why we all are here. What is it so specific that we want to know? Is there some answers that we are looking for? Are there some questions that we are thinking? Is it that we are feeling something about it? And in that moment, the mind and of the story, a story of a young, energetic speaker. This young, energetic speaker is standing right in front of the door. And as she's standing there, the door opens. And as she walks in, she looks around. The beautiful banners and posters, the lights, everything is about her. And as she walks through the red carpet, she can hear the crowd cheer, applauding her, telling her name. And as she's walking through, she looks at that stage. And on that stage, she looks at that light, a spotlight. And when she looks at that spotlight, she knows exactly that yes, that's where she belongs. She belongs to that place. And as she's looking at that, place, she becomes emotional and she feels a sense of achievement, a sense of satisfaction, a twinkle in her eyes, a feeling of gratitude runs through her. And as she's walking onto the stage, being there right in the center, she realizes that she's there at the right place. But the moment she looks back, everything is vanished. There are no people. All the empty chairs with dust and weeds around. And she wonders where everybody's gone. They all were right there, cheering her up. But alas, nobody's there. And with that disappointment, she's standing on the stage. And from far distance, in the corner of that room, she looks at at some light, small light, that teeny sound. With that hope in her heart, she climbs down, runs towards that light. And as she goes closer to the light, she looks at a big rock, and that rock is studded with gems. And she's amazed to look at those gems. And as she looks deeper and closer, she realizes that each gem represents the goal, the dream that she has in her eyes. And she feels so excited. An amazing feeling runs through her heart that yes, this is what I want to achieve. All the dreams were in her hand. She grabs that rock. And with that excitement, she wants to pull each and every gem. She tries her best to do that. But nothing happens. She looks around for tools, for anything that can help her to pull that gem. But nothing helps. And there she's standing, helpless, feeling bad. Has dreams in her hand, but she can't do anything about it. So, my dear friends, my dear fellow speakers, this is exactly what was the feeling I went through years back when I was suffering from something called procrastination. And I know that each one of us, or rather many of us, we have heard about this word procrastination. We delay our task, we delay our goals, our dreams, in the quest that there is always tomorrow. But let me ask you this question. How would you feel that because of your procrastination, you lost you lost an opportunity of being a TEDx speaker? How would you feel that? I want you to write your answers in the space. Let me see how many of you and how do you feel when you lose that opportunity because of procrastination? How would you feel when you had this big assignment, a consulting project of a multinational company, and with one such meeting, they are so happy with your meeting and they're waiting for your proposal and they're all ready to give you that project. But because you delayed something, you procrastinated on something, and the project goes out of your hand and somebody else grabs it. How would you feel when your doctor tells you on your face that if you don't take care of your health, if you don't take care of your entire well-being, you are not going to live? Now my question is, are we going to wait for such alarms? Are we going to wait for such signals from our external environment to tell us that this is the right time, this is the right moment, and we are those action takers to take our actions and walk towards the dream that we have, the dream to become a speaker, the dream to make even better, maybe 5% more than what we are right now, and later 5% even more than what we are then. Are we ready to do that? So I want to ask you this question, each one of you. What is your one or two goals that you would want to achieve in this year, 2021? What is your one or two goals, that at least one goal that you are very determined that I want to achieve this goal in the year 2021? Yes, absolutely, Deepak. To a community where all can learn and grow. All right. Yes, Gaurav, Vipul, Suresh, Nishan. Okay, you want to explore more opportunities that leads to my personal growth. Very well. To become an eminent speaker, fantastic, Deepak. Work ahead on the journey to TED Talks. Lovely, Sonu. That is so interesting. So, when you are writing your goal that you want to achieve in these 12 months, why is it that you haven't achieved it yet? Are there any roadblocks that you are facing? Are there any roadblocks that you are facing that you want to achieve these goals, but there's something that is stopping you, there's something that is coming in your way, and you're not able to achieve it? Okay, correct network, my time. So I'll tell you about my journey. In this entire over a decade of my entrepreneurship journey, I started this journey. I realized that being an entrepreneur, yes, it is a little bit difficult, but being a woman entrepreneur requires a lot of work because it's not easy to enter into the market. So when I was doing all my work and moving ahead bit by bit, I realized there are so many dreams to achieve. What I used to do is every year, like all of you, I would sit with my productivity planners, with my diaries, and put a list of goals with all the nice action plans, with the resources that I would need, with nice timelines that I would have, and would make it and be very happy about it. And I would feel happy that yes, I did my job. I wrote all my goals. And slowly, as months will pass by, the energy would slowly go down. And by end of the year, I would realize that I have not achieved so many of the goals, or maybe one or two goals that I achieved. Well, I could achieve more, but couldn't achieve all of them or even 50% of it. So I realized that there's something that is bothering me. It is affecting and it is at a deeper level. So I started researching about this subject, started looking at my own blueprint, my patterns of how am I doing, what am I doing, and why am I doing certain things in a certain manner. So when I started doing all these things, I realized that this one word, that's procrastination, it is not a small one such word. It is a much deeper, deep rooted blueprint, or I would say a deep rooted pattern that we all have. And we don't realize it. We don't know that unknowingly we have created this pattern of delaying our work, delaying our task. And when I was doing this research, I also did a survey of hundreds of people only to find out that what could be their roadblock, what could be their patterns that is stopping them from achieving what they want to achieve. Or are there some reasons or excuses that we put to ourselves? And with all these research and the surveys and my own experiences, I realized that there are four major roadblocks. The first roadblock that we come across is a cage of perfectionism. We put ourselves so much into perfectionism that we are not ready to leave that part. We just want to make it better, better, and maybe the best of the best that we can. But we don't realize that when we are making anything more perfect, we are actually blocking ourselves from putting it to the world, because the world is waiting for us. We are not just public speakers. We are the voices that people want to hear. We speak not because we want to share our viewpoints or we want to share our perspectives. We speak to impact people. We speak to educate. We speak to influence, to take some actions. We speak to transform people's life. So there is a responsibility that we all are holding. But in that entire journey, if we are caught up into the cage of perfectionism, how are we going to put ourselves into the world? Because the world is waiting for us. Now I'll tell you why this perfectionism. Now go back to your childhood. When we were children, we used to go to school and appear for tests, for examinations, for word tests. And then we come home with a mark sheet in our hand, very happily showing this to our parents, to our elders, that look, I scored 7 out of 10. And now looking at the score, our parents would say, yeah, this is good. You scored 7 out of 10, which is nice. Next time, score 10 on 10, because that's the best. A 7 on 10, okay, good. 8 on 10, all right, it is still good. But go for 10 on 10. Now, I'm not saying 10 on 10 is not okay. Of course, it is good. But only saying that 10 on 10, when I reach that level, then only and only then I will put my work into the world. You are stopping yourself. So, then what is the principle? What is the way out to break this roadblock? The way out is 70% is perfect. Even if you're ready with the 70% of your work, and that is good enough, you should take action and move ahead. Because the more you keep on refining your work, the more you're keeping it in your laptops, in your diaries, there's nobody to look at it. The second roadblock that I realized we all are facing is overwhelm. And that's what I was experiencing when I was making a list of my goals every year. And when I would look at those goals, when I would look at those action plans, and I would, for a moment, I'll be happy, and the next moment, I'm overwhelmed. Oh my God, there's so much of work to do. How will I do it? From where to start? And I would get so much caught up with that feeling that I would leave that, and I'll say, I'll do it later. And that never helped me. And unknowingly, I started putting myself into the same pattern again and again. Now, what happens? We all have patterns in our daily routine. If you start noticing and identifying your pattern of, say, eating, or the pattern of your work, you would realize that it's the same thing. Anything that you're doing is the same way you do everything. So the feeling of overwhelm kept on hovering me again and again. And when that started happening, I realized that my plate is so full that I was not able to come out of it. And that's where I noticed for the first time. I know we all are in this COVID situation, so we don't get a chance to go and party and go out in the events. But I remember the time, and I want you all to remember the time when we used to go to the events, we used to go to the parties, and we had this nice, delicious buffet in front of us. And we would look at that food, we would look at those food items, and we would like, wow, we want to grab this and eat it up. So, very nicely, what I used to do is I used to pick up the plate and first eat with my eyes, look all the food items, and then pick up little bit of everything on the plate And when I put all these things, all my food items in the plate, when I sit at the table, now for a moment I'm looking at my plate because my plate is full with all the delicious food items that I love. But the question is, there's so many, and where should I start from? So that's where I realized to break this overwhelm, the second principle is focusing on one thing at a time. So when you focus on one thing, and that's what Gary Keller has said in his book, when you focus on one thing at a time, what happens? This happens. The energy that we have inside us, it could be in so many forms, the knowledge, the intellect, the skills, the awareness, all the energy. If we are having too many goals and we are focusing in all the directions, what is happening? It is making us overwhelmed. But the moment we pick up one thing and we start channelizing the energy only in that direction, unless and until it gets completed, what we get is focus and clarity. And that's what I started doing. And the second principle, focusing on one thing at a time, unless and until that gets completed, helped me to get the clarity that I wanted to achieve any goal that I had. The third roadblock that we all face is overthinking. Now, I'll tell you what happens. The moment you have an idea, or the moment you start working, say you are working on your book, or you're working on your videos, your YouTube channel, or you're working on any kind of, or you're working on your talk, and you keep on thinking about it. You keep on planning, you keep on restructuring, you keep on strategizing everything in your mind, or maybe on the piece of paper. And the more you think, what happens? You don't realize, but slowly, the self-doubt slips in. And the moment self-doubt slips in, what happens? You start doubting your own abilities. You start doubting your own capacities. And then you start looking at the external environment, the outside world, to give you that recognition, to give you that testimonies, to give you that appreciation that no, you are good, you are so good, please go ahead. And the more you get that references, you feel that yes, I'm doing well. But the moment you go back to your own self, you enter into the self-doubt mode. Why? Because you keep on thinking, but that doesn't help. What helps is a reference point from your future. Now just imagine you have your goals and dreams to fulfill. The biggest goal is that you want to become a public speaker, a renowned global speaker who will be there out in the space where millions and millions of people are waiting for you to listen, waiting for you to actually get influenced by you, impacted by you. So that's the dream, that's the goal that you have. But now that's the future. But you want to work in the present right now. But what you're doing is you're taking a reference point from your past. And that's what we have been doing. We all have our reference points. But the mistake that we do is we keep looking into our past to work in our present for our future. Now, how that's going to be possible? If our past was what our future is, we could have been at a certain place. But the reality is we are not right now. We are working towards it. And if that's true, that means we need to change our reference point. Now, we may have our successes, we may have our failures in the past, but we don't want the past to be our present or future. We want something different for the future. So if we want to work towards the future, we want to work from the future. And to do that, we must have our own reference point. Create your reference point, create your identity, the reference point that you want to be. Have a strong imagination and a visualization that how I want to be in right now. Choose what you want to be. And that clarity should be so good, so empowering that no matter what, The moment you look at that person, the moment you look at that Deepak, that Suresh, you know that yes, this is exactly how I want to be. And that becomes your reference point to work from the future. And the fourth roadblock that we all face is the fear of failure. The fear, it catches up in no time. And with the fear comes loaded of questions. What if I do this and it doesn't give me results? Oh my God, what if I put this into the world and I started getting criticism? What if I take actions and it's not giving me the results? What if I fail? What if it doesn't work? And you get caught up into this questions of what if, never ending questions of what if. And the moment you do that, what happens? You get into the fear of failure. So imagining that this is your timeline. Now, why we get into this fear of failure? So this is your timeline, and throughout your timeline, what we do is 95% of our time we spend on planning, researching, analyzing, and comparing. We keep looking at the data, we keep looking at the information, we keep looking at all the literature and the resources that's available. And we keep refining our work. So 95% of the time, all we are doing is planning, planning, and strategizing. And when we think that we are ready, we take actions. And the moment we take actions, that's just 5% of our time. Now, with that 5% of your time, when you take actions, what you get is your results, is your feedback. Now, obviously, when you're doing this for the first time, you may not get the results or the feedback exactly the way you want. And what happens? You feel little bad about it. You feel low, and you may want to go back. You may want to go back and relook at it. So you go back to your planning, go back to your strategies, and keep refining it. And now what you are giving a signal to your brain is, again, spend 95% of the time in doing planning, researching, analyzing, and that blah blah stuff. So your brain is not ready to accept. You know why? 95% of the time it's all planning, planning, and planning. There's no action. What we believe, what we think that this is action, but in reality, that's just planning. And after so much of efforts, again, when you are ready to take actions, it leads to a failure or maybe a little bit of more further feedback or results. Again, you have to go through that 95% of failure. So when you're doing this, this is what fear slips in. Now let's reverse this. When we are reversing this, let's go back to our timeline. This is your timeline. And now what we are doing is we are planning. Of course, that's an important step. We are not doing anything impromptu or spontaneous. Yes, sometimes impulsiveness works, but not always. So we do planning, but that is only 5%. Let's have our data, our information, everything in place. Let's not spend a lot of time in planning, but yes, let's have something in our hand. And with that 5% of planning and strategies, let's take action. Now, what happens when you're taking actions bit by bit? You are getting feedback at every step. At every step you get feedback, you go back to planning. Again, you take actions, you get some more feedback, you go back to planning. Now this is easy for the brain to understand. It's easy for the brain to go back to the planning, do some revising, and then come back to taking actions. Because your brain is in action mode. And what happens when you are continuously into the action mode, you get confidence. There's no fear because you are getting better and better at every moment as you're taking your action. Now, when you're doing this, you are beating the fear of failure because you know that every moment you are either moving ahead or you're learning in which direction to move. So what you're doing is you are just removing the roadblocks from your path, putting them away from you, and what you're collecting, what you're gathering is the gems that that will lead you, that will take you to your dreams and to your goals, the vision that you have. So four principles that will help you to remove the roadblocks that comes in our way. We don't realize it. And let me tell you, we are no perfect. We are human beings. We have emotions, we have thoughts. And these roadblocks, they will come at some point of time in some or the other ways, in some or the other shape and sizes. We may not know. But these four principles will actually help you to remove them, to break these roadblocks and get the gems of your life that you want. And that's exactly what this young, energetic speaker, and that's exactly what she did. So when she understood these four principles, she went back to that rock, and now she knew that when she will focus on that one gem at a time, she has the right tool to pull that up slowly and gradually in a much delicate manner. The moment she did that, she was happy. She was happy that she got that one gem, one dream, one goal. And she felt that nice, she had this nice feeling. And yes, she felt more confident that yes, I achieved this. This is something that I could do it. And with that experience, she moved to the second gem in the rock. She removed another gem and she felt more empowered. And the more she kept on doing this, she was able to collect all the gems, all the dreams that she had to be an amazing, amazing, impactful public speaker. And that's what she did. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Bharti ji. It was an amazing experience, not only for me, I believe for every community member. And what a way to tell that what you need to do is you need to amplify your action. The more you increase your action, you will automatically overcome the procrastination.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Awesome.
I have a question. Can I ask a
Yeah,
quick
yeah, please
question?
go. Yeah, please, Easy.
For some problem, I'm not able to open my camera, some technical issue. So sorry for that.
No issues, no.
So,
Please go ahead.
Bharti ji, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your amazing insights. I just love this. And I must say that the choice of your music in the starting is so amazing. I was like going to trance and so soothing. So kudos to that. I just love that. And secondly, I would like to ask that I really like that last slide जहाँ पर आपने वो 95% एक्शन के बारे में बोला
Yeah.
कि कई बार होता है we are just going with the flow and lot of things we are already occupied in various things, personal, professional stuff. And then when you mentioned about 95% action time, so I would like to have a specific question. Let's say suppose everyone here is a professional, like somebody is into a job or a business or an entrepreneur. Whatever we are doing for a survival and this thing. Now, of course, we all have a goal, various goals. I would like to know that how do we decide whether wherever we are going it is right or not, and whatever action we are doing it is right or not. How we do, balance this thing, because you say procrastination because sometimes we are not sure whether we should change or we should it is really for us or whether it is really good for us. Sometimes we are in this dilemma, right? So according to your experience, how would you like to answer this?
So my answer is one word: your identity. What do
Okay.
you choose to be? The moment you are clear about your identity, that this is exactly, say, when you ask me who Bharti is, I know exactly who Bharti is, what I
Wow.
want to be, what I choose to be. Now, when I look at that image, when I look at that identity that I want to be, and I choose that this is who I am, all my priorities, my work, my tasks, my personal things, my professional things, everything aligns because and that's not only me, I have shared this, expressed this to my family, to my friends, to my colleagues, to all the people who are surrounding me. And they are so much in sync with my vision, they are so much in sync with my image that they respect that. They appreciate the efforts, they appreciate the work that I do. They also give me the space, and they so much are in sync, and it becomes like a rhythm, it becomes like music for everybody. So I will not say that it is a rosy picture all day. Of course, there are glitches, there are hitches, but that's exactly the moment when there is a low, I go back to my identity. I go back to my image and say, yes, this is who I am, this is who I choose to be. And that clears all the air that I have.
Wow, this is so interesting. Thank you so much. It makes sense to me. And wow, thank you so much. And over to Deepak
Thank you.
ji, great doing a great hosting.
Thank you, GJ.
Thank you for
Well,
asking.
all what Miss Bharti had said, I would like to add just one sentence. If you have gone through that slide of action and planning, once you are into action, you automatically get the feedback.
Yes.
So this feedback helps you that to tells you this feedback tells you that this is either not the right way or this is the right way. So this is basically learning for you, not the failure. Failure in other terms is
Yes.
learning.
Yeah.
Deepak ji, can I say something to Bharti ji?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Bharti ji, though I joined a bit late, my apologies on that regard. But what was fantastic about your talk, the end point, what you said is that human being is a bundle of emotion. Every roadblocks will come, definitely will come. We have to be aware of that. And two very important things you said, taking action. So if I seize my life, so I was not being so spontaneous speaker. So earlier I used to give mugged up speeches. But what I did is that starting presenting myself more and more on the stage. So action is the phenomenal thing. So I got present to your talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajiv.
Anybody else? Any questions, please? Do let me know. Okay, so now we move on to our surprise of the day, the public speaking ka tadka. And Rajiv ji, may I request you to please unmute yourself?
I have.
Yeah. We would like to know something about your stage experience.
Deepak, firstly, just explain, since many of the members are new over here, just explain what is this public speaking tadka all about. And Bharti, wonderful session.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here, Sherry. I really, really appreciate that.
It's our pleasure,
Thank you.
Bharti.
Thank you, Cherry sir. Yeah. So public speaking ka tadka is basically nothing, but it is just to help you understand that public speaking is nothing, only just expressing yourself and expressing yourself correctly and wisely. So with this, what happens is you overcome the stage fear, you overcome speaking in public, and not only this, you attain confidence. So Rajiv ji.
Okay, so let me add something more to this.
Yeah,
Deepak.
please, sir.
So the reason we have launched public speaking tadka is that we don't want the session to be monotonous. Though Bharti has engaged everybody so nicely, however, since our community is more about public speaking, so we came up with an idea, the entire core team, that why not ask everybody if they have applied certain things in a recent public speaking gig or a performance as a speaker, where they have applied it and they have actually been able to create an impact. That's one way of looking at public speaking ka tadka. The second is, if you have any tip, any suggestion, any help related to any technique which has worked for you and can work for all of us here, you're most welcome to share it. So you have to be very precise. So Deepak will handpick 2-3 people from the session and they will be sharing the same.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Rajiv ji, over to you.
So what I could understood by Mr. Arthur Sherry is that the onus of the public speaking is connecting with the people, and that comes into play when you speaks from your life, because naturally the emotions will come and the people will get connected. So I am present to this thing only so far in public speaking, and I always try to bring that in my talk. So that what I precisely know the public speaking is all about.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Pushpinda ji, may I request you to please put on your video?
I guess she's working right now. Deepak, we can switch over to someone else.
Yeah, maybe we should, yeah. So let's move on to Mr. Gaurav.
Hello.
Yeah, ma'am.
There are two Gauravs. कौन से Gaurav?
Pushpinda ma'am,
Yes.
you must have heard about that public speaking का तड़का.
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल जी, मैंने सुना अभी और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, और मुझे जो सबसे अच्छी भारती जी की बात अच्छी लगी परफेक्शन वाली, और मैं उस चीज में बहुत बिलीव करती हूँ। मैंने भी इसी ओपिनियन इसी माइंडसेट के साथ काम शुरू किया है कि ये नहीं सोचना कि मैंने परफेक्ट होने के बाद स्टार्ट करना है। और मैंने अपना पॉडकास्ट शुरू किया है और मैंने यूट्यूब चैनल शुरू किया है। ठीक है, जितना भी मुझे व्यूज मिल रहे हैं मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बट आई एम कंसिस्टेंट, मैं उस पर चल रही हूँ। और ये मैंने ऑथर शेरी से भी सीखा है, और उन्होंने जो मुझे गाइड किया था PSU का 30 डेज चैलेंज में, तो उससे भी बहुत कुछ सीखा है। तो भारती जी की भी ओपिनियंस बहुत अच्छी लगी, जो बहुत अच्छा गाइड किया उन्होंने। Thank you so much.
पुष्पिंदर जी, thank you so much for the acknowledgement. You tell us, आपने पब्लिक स्पीकिंग अभी रिसेंटली कोई ऐसी टेक्निक देखी हो या कहीं अप्लाई करी हो, फिर उसके बारे में बताइए। That's what public speaking तड़का is about.
पब्लिक स्पीकिंग में जो मैंने आपके साथ सीखने के बाद जो मैंने शुरू किया, वो मैंने टोनालिटी पे काम किया है। जो मैंने किया है तो उसको मैं अपना पॉडकास्ट में मतलब स्टोरी टेलिंग करती हूँ, मॉरल के साथ पहले बताती हूँ, उसके बाद मैं मॉरल डालती हूँ। तो उसके बाद मैंने टोनालिटी पे काम किया, जो मैं नहीं करती थी पहले, क्योंकि मैं 3 ईयर से कर रही हूँ। पर टोनालिटी पे जो मैंने काम किया, वो मैंने आपसे, जो आपकी संडे मीटिंग्स में जो आप गाइड करते थे, और जो एक्सरसाइजेस हमिंग वाली, वो भी मैंने अप्लाई की। तो ये चीजें मैंने अपनी नई शुरू की।
वंडरफुल। तो आप कोई एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं कि एक विदाउट टोनालिटी, 2 लाइन कोई बोलिए आप विदाउट टोनालिटी, और विद टोनालिटी आप कोई 2 लाइन बोलिए, ताकि जितने भी लोग हमारे साथ हैं अभी, उनको डिफरेंस पता लग जाए कि विदाउट टोनालिटी में कैसा लगता है जब आप डिलीवरी करते हो, और विद टोनालिटी जब आप डिलीवरी करते हो तो कैसा लगता है। व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस?
अगर हम बाहर, जैसे सपोज कोई शोर हो रहा है या कोई गेट पे आवाज हो रही है, तो अगर हम बोलते हैं कि शायद गेट पर कोई है, तो वो भी हम ऐसे भी बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम जनरल बैठे हैं तो बात कर रहे हैं। लेकिन अगर हम किसी चीज रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं, या हम किसी के साथ, अरे लगता है कोई आया है, आवाज हो रही है, मतलब उस तरह से हम थोड़ी टोन ऊपर नीचे करके बात कर सकते हैं। तो वो हम रिकॉर्डिंग के समय थोड़ा ध्यान रखें, तो उससे थोड़ा एक्सप्रेशन का जो, मतलब अगर आपका पॉडकास्ट भी है तो एक्सप्रेशन आपको समझ आएगा उसमें।
क्या बात है, वंडरफुल, थैंक यू सो मच।
क्या बात है पुष्पिंदर मैम, आपने तो कमाल कर दिया।
But amazing performance.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Deepak, I believe we can handpick one more person, and we are about to finish on the time, and then we will felicitate Bharti ji also.
Okay, I'll check if Nelson is there. Mr. Nelson, if you could please come live. आ जाइए, एक फोटो भी ले लेंगे सबके साथ में।
I am live now. Today's
great.
I didn't comment much, but amazing and wonderful the presentation and points which were dotted out, and solutions which were given, examples. It was really great. About this Tadka also, it's a new concept. It's really nice to hear from what the that I'm really like emotionally, I'm very much into it, like this Tadka thing. Like I am also trying to use all the things which I learned from Author Sherry about
So Nelson, tell something which has happened recently. That's the whole idea. That's
Yeah.
the whole idea. So tell something which has happened with you recently, or if you have observed something while doing public speaking with someone else or yourself. Just share that with everybody. We are enhancing knowledge with each other. It's a masterclass going on.
Yeah, I joined some other groups also, and about storytelling and all, and I learned a few things like starting a story with a hook, and then strategically design the contents inside with a story with gestures, eye contact, body language, and then with a close, with a call to action. So these three things uh, I got to learn better in another group. So that is what I experience right now. I'm really not able to express in a better way.
That's okay, Nelson. No problem. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nelson sir.
Thank you.
Well, things are changing, and things will definitely change. Only what we need to do is, as Bharti ma'am said, take action. Don't plan much.
Yeah.
So much planning leads to less of action. So action is more, planning is less.
Yeah, action. I've been taking action, and then it's
Great.
turning out. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And sir, before we move on, I have a poll. If you could please move on to this. You need to advise us how engaging was the session according to you. Rate between 1 to 5, where 1 is the least and 5 is the highest.
We are okay. Now it's visible. Come on, guys. Only 5 people voted.
Yeah.
We have more people over here.
Yes.
It says the poll was closed before you submit the answer.
No.
So fast.
Yes.
Okay, let me
देखो, मैं
relaunch it.
अकेला
then.
रही हूँ.
Relaunch the polling, please.
Yeah.
दोबारा वोट डालूंगा मैं.
We'll all relaunch.
Thank you. इस बार मैंने टाइम पे कर दिया.
सर जब तक आप करोगे नहीं ना, टाइम को खत्म नहीं होने देंगे.
Polling is closed again. It says. दीपक ये क्या आपने अभी आपने close करा है या अपने आप हो
मैंने
रहा
नहीं
है
किया
ये?
सर. ऑटोमेटिकली
Okay.
हो रहा है मेरे ख्याल से. कुछ टाइम सेट हो क्या?
आपने टाइम सेट किया हुआ है यहाँ पे मेरे ख्याल से.
I hope so. 11:63.
आपकी स्क्रीन पे आ रहा है तो आप क्लोज पे मत कीजिए जो भी.
नहीं मेरे पास नहीं कर रहा, मैं क्लोज नहीं कर रहा. चल रहा है मेरे पास तो कनेक्टेड है.
Okay. So I think the people who are co-hosts they cannot vote. बाकी सब
Could
कर
be
सकते
possible, yeah.
हैं. All right, now you can end the polling. I guess it's in front of us. Okay, that's wonderful. Congratulations, Bharti ji.
Congratulations, ma'am. You got more than 70%.
Thank you so much.
So I hope people planned as well as action.
Yes.
So thank you very much. And Sherry sir, I would request you to please help us to honor Bharti ma'am.
Sure, Deepak. Thank you, Bharti, for such an engaging and inspiring session. Lot of takeaways from your session today. We cannot give you much anything right now in this online session, but please accept our heartfelt gratitude and this digital certificate of appreciation on behalf of our entire PSI community. So may I request all of you to please unmute and let's clap for our seasoned trainer speaker of the day, Ms. Bharti Naik. Wonderful session.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Super awesome.
This is a beautiful surprise. Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you, everybody, each one of you.
Thank you very much. And may I request everyone to please come live. Let's have a photograph before we end the session.
मेरा फोटोशॉप से लगा देना, बाद में पता नहीं कैमरा का कुछ इशू है.
कोई बात नहीं.
You want us to give a thumbs
अब
up?
आगे वही बताइए. Okay, hip hip hooray! Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Good night.
Bharti. Thank you,
Bye.
Shari Bhai, for
Thank you.
organizing this. Thank you, Deepak Bhai. You've been a great host. Fantastic.
Sir,
Rocked it.
I'm learning
Thank
from
you,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
Bye.
See you
Thank you,
next
Bharti
week.
ji. You were awesome.